Hello, and here we are back to read some more Lulu and the Brontosaurus. We are picking up on chapter 12. Here we go. But then, after maybe an hour, Lulu suddenly heard a different voice. A not-so-friendly voice saying, "Hold it right there." And standing up on his two hind legs and blocking her path through the forest stood the black bear that she had stomped on yesterday. "You hold it right there," said Lulu. "And please," there was that P word, "don't keep shaking your claw-y paws at me. If I have to stomp you, I'll stomp you. But I'd rather really not stomp you. I'd rather," she opened her suitcase and took out a jar of golden honey, "give you this. If you'll please get out of my way." What's going on with Lulu? She'd rather not stomp him? The bear took the jar of honey, opened the top, dipped in his paw, and slurpily licked it, mumbling something that sort of sounded like, "Thank you." Dipping and licking and slurping, he hurried out of Lulu's path, and she continued tromping through the forest. Until another familiar, another not-too-friendly voice said, "This time I'm eating you before you bonk me." And there was the tiger, the silky, slinky tiger of yesterday, ready to pounce on her. "Forget the eating and the bonking," said Lulu, "and try on this beautiful scarf." She pulled a long, floaty, bright green scarf from her suitcase. "It matches your eyes, and I'll give it to you if you'll please get out of my way." And the tiger, happily wrapping the eye-matching scarf around her black and orange striped neck, growled something that sounded like "thank you" and slunk away. And Lulu continued tromping through the forest. Until, well, what do you think she did next? She met a wolf, a giraffe, a lion. Don't be ridiculous. She met, of course, what else? The snake, who was hissing an even nastier hiss than he'd hissed the day before, and was warning her, "This time I'll be the tighter squeezer." Lulu, looking disgusted, told him, "Nobody's squeezing anybody. All I'm doing is getting home today." Then she reached in her suitcase and pulled out a small flowered rug and explained to the snake, "This is for you, if you'll please get out of my way. A soft rug to rest on whenever you feel like resting." The snake took the rug in his mouth and tried, at least I think he tried, to say thank you to Lulu, though it's hard to tell when a mouth is full of rug. In any case, he went slithering off wherever a snake goes slithering, and Lulu continued tromping through the forest. Chapter 13. It wasn't too much later that Lulu could see that she was nearly out of the forest. She was happy that soon she wouldn't be with her mom and her dad. But along with feeling happy, she was also feeling sad when she thought of the Brontosaurus that she'd left behind. As a matter of fact, she pictured the poor lonely dinosaur so clearly in her mind that it almost seemed as if he was standing there, just outside of the forest, waiting for her. And he was. If you look closely there, you see Lulu looking through the forest. Can you see the Brontosaurus there, kind of in a shadow? Was Lulu shocked? "Oh, you bet." What? She asked. "What are you doing here, Mr. B?" "I found a shortcut," the Brontosaurus replied. Lulu smiled a soft, sweet smile, and then she shook her head and sighed. And then she said, and even though I'm the person writing the story, I truly don't know why she's saying it in rhyme, "Please try to understand, Mr. B, that I cannot be your pet, even though you're the nicest Brontosaurus I ever met. And if you take me away with you, I'll keep on running back home every chance I get." Not a bad rhyme, though. That last line's a little lumpy. "I already figured out that while I was waiting..." Oh, wait, That's the wrong voice. Let me start that again. Bloop. I already figured that out while I was waiting for you, the Brontosaurus told Lulu. I do understand that you can't be my pet, but please understand that I can't be your pet either. Well, Lulu understood the Brontosaurus understood. It seemed there was only one thing left to do. So they stood there quietly looking at each other for a moment, and then they did it. The Brontosaurus bent his long neck till his face was close to Lulu's. He kissed her gently on the cheek and said, Happy birthday, little pet, and goodbye. Lulu put her arms around the Brontosaurus's neck. She kissed him gently on the nose and said, Don't be too lonely, Mr. B, and goodbye. Then she slowly walked down the road that would take her home. Then he slowly walked down the road that would take him home. And although Lulu and the Brontosaurus remembered each other forever, they never saw each other again. The maybe end. Chapter 13. Again. Wait! I'm not really all that sure about this ending. It may be a little too mushy, a little too sad, but since I'm the person writing this story, I'm writing another ending and you can decide which one you'd rather have. Well, Lulu understood and the Brontosaurus understood that neither of them could be the other's pet, but why should that mean that they had to say goodbye? Come with me, and I'll give you a piece of my birthday cake, Lulu said. I'd like that, the dinosaur said. Maybe I can give you a ride. And Lulu arrived back at her house riding happily on the back of the Brontosaurus. When her mom and her dad heard the noise of a dinosaur clomping into their yard, they remembered Lulu and they remembered her birthday. Lucky for all, her cake had already been made. Don't worry, he isn't my pet, Lulu said. He's only going to stay here for a piece of cake and a glass of lemonade. But he's kind of a lonely guy, and I would like to invite him back for Thanksgiving dinner. From that time on, the Brontosaurus came to Lulu's house for her birthday, Thanksgiving, and the 4th of July. And sometimes she visited his house, though, since she didn't like eating leaves, she always brought a suitcase of pickle sandwiches. On one very special birthday, she not only invited her friend, the Brontosaurus, but also the snake and the tiger and the bear. And the Brontosaurus noticed that whenever Lulu asked anyone for anything, she always said please. The end. Maybe. Chapter 13, yet again. I'm still not totally satisfied. I'm going to try once more because I think I need to answer certain questions. Like, were Lulu's mom and her dad worried sick when she didn't come home that night? Had they bought a present for her birthday? Did she completely stop being a pain and turn into polite? And how did all that stuff fit in her suitcase? I'm going to answer all these questions, and when I'm done, you will have your choice of 3 endings. Well, Lulu understood, and the Brontosaurus understood, that though they couldn't be pets, they could be friends. So Lulu invited the Brontosaurus back to her house for some birthday cake, and introduced him to her mom and her dad. They hadn't been waiting and worrying and wondering where she was because they had fallen asleep sipping their tea, and they didn't open their eyes till the Brontosaurus, with Lulu riding on his back, came clomp, clomp, clomping into their front yard. They gave her a silver necklace for her birthday. She sang them a whole new Brontosaurus song. I didn't get a Brontosaurus for a pet. I didn't get a Brontosaurus for a pet. It sure looks like you've brought one home, Lulu's mom said to Lulu. And we still say no. You can't have one, said her dad. And both of them waited for Lulu to screech and throw herself down on the floor and kick her heels and wave her arms in the air. Except she didn't. What happened to the screeching? Asked her quite astonished mom. And her dad asked, What about throwing yourself on the floor? Lulu replied, very dignified, I'm 1 year older today, and I'm not doing that kid stuff anymore. And she says a very nice please, says the Brontosaurus. After the cake and the lemonade, the dinosaur said goodbye, but he would return for many holiday visits. Sometimes the snake and the tiger and the bear came too. Although she kept getting older, Lulu never turned into perfect. She still, though less and less often, sometimes screeched and forgot about please. Though she never again in her life said foo on you, she mainly wasn't a pain, and the Brontosaurus was mainly not lonely anymore. As for how all that stuff fit into Lulu's suitcase, I'm sorry to say that I don't have a clue. I am, after all, just the person who's writing this story. And that is the end. And now we will move on to the next one in the series right here. That's what I'll start tomorrow, called Lulu Walks the Dog. Let me know which ending you liked the best. I hope you had fun with our first Lulu book. See you later.